Welcome back to the MartiniWorks Podcast. It is officially 10 degrees in this garage.
It's cold season.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about the weather.
Dakota's wearing a t-shirt.
I don't understand you. If I could have a blinky right now, I definitely would be. But welcome back to the podcast. If you're listening or tuning in, thank you so much for listening. If you haven't yet, please be sure to subscribe. We're jumping past Black Friday, Cyber Monday.
Happy 4th of July.
Now it's just cold.
I wish.
And really, really crummy. But we've made some progress on our cars. We're going to start a little bit talking about the progress of what we made.
This? Okay. I know no one can see it.
Explain what you're looking at.
We always talk about it because it's sitting right in front of us every time we film this podcast or record this podcast. The S2000 is moved.
Up.
12 inches to the left.
12 inches to the left and about
12 inches up.
14 inches up.
That's
yeah.
it. No, it's good. Now, before we get into the S2000, I really like doing this, so I'm going to rattle off some names.
I'm sure there's a big list.
We got a ton of people. Thank you so much for modding your car at MartiniWorks, by the way. That support means the world. Dakota got really excited. But if your name is Jake O, Andrew P, Dixon Gavin, Tyler S, James P, Liam W, John David, Marcus W, Marcus M, Brenda T, Miguel A, Callan T, Miguel A, Drew S, Drake R, Anthony W, Xander T, Adam H, Robert D. I can't do it this fast. It's really hard because all of these guys' names and gals have the craziest last names.
These is guys.
Gabe B, Josie J, Brandon W, Esteban A, Derek E, Cole B, Corey J, lots of Corys, Dominic Von De Vera.
Ooh, that was kind of sick.
Gavin B, Caitlin P, Yasmin K, Kristen D, Cameron H, Brendan Nelson, Tyson. Why am I sometimes doing?
Yeah, sometimes you do the whole last name. Sometimes you don't. Just
I'm so sorry.
probably get away with just
That's like 40 people.
Actually, I guess it was some.
Michael M, Tyson S, Brian A again, Jonathan S, Stephen H, Brad P, Dennis A S, Peter L, Jill C, and Thomas B. Thank you so much for trusting us with your Black Friday Cyber Monday shopping. That meant the world.
Yeah, that was dope. Thank you guys for all the support and ordering some cool stuff.
And we just to be clear, we did hear from you. You told us to put a year, make, model filter on the website, so you could just
working
do it
on it.
We didn't do it. A couple other guys did.
Yeah, we don't know how to.
Working on it.
I just thought I'd add a plug-in to the website and break it.
Yeah.
But that's just us. Should we talk about the builds? Gels, how is your build going? You're the only one in this group of 3 that's got a heated garage. You must just be flying.
Just blue balled them on the
No,
S2K
the problem is I spent all my money on the heated garage. I have no money left over to build cars, so it's just a fancy, place to keep cars.
I imagine Gels just sitting in the garage with like a little fold-out camping chair.
He has
with
a
the heat
garage
on,
couch.
I do have garage couch.
and you just sit. Like, what do? You just sit out there and you're
Garage
like,
couch probably full of spiders.
I
but
could be doing shit.
Wow.
I don't know. Where the hell, if you
Burn
were a
that.
spider in a garage,
Where
and
would
there
you be?
was a couch, where would
I
you
would
be?
go in the house.
That's fair.
question.
No, yeah, the 240 needs Jesus at this
Why?
current juncture. Last drift day was not good. Not that I crashed it or anything. It was
Agreed.
it's just a lot of things coming down the pipeline as far as things just not working and need attention. So last drift day found out like I had just 0 brakes pretty much the whole day, and spent majority of the day just trying to track that down and bleed the brakes, see if I could get it fixed. But I'm pretty sure it's something with either the master cylinder or the brake booster. But that has just convinced me that I just need to go balls to the walls and just fix everything. Which is a lot. So just trying to put together a part list for what that is. I have a pretty good idea, but mainly want to focus on the brake system, probably like just anything with like suspension or like hubs. I think a couple wheel bearings could be replaced, so might as well do that while we're in there.
First, comments in the video below. Let us know in the 240 SX game if you guys have any parts. You should shoot us a DM so that Gels can buy them for cheap. Or if you have recommendations on any of the things that he does need, like wheel bearings and things like that, drop a comment below.
Absolutely.
Maybe you
It'd
can
help a
find
ton.
something for cheap.
Hopefully, because that would be nice. And then like cooling, the car stays decently cool, but everything just looks a little crusty. And like I have had to replace a couple like vacuum hoses and fuel lines already, so it's like anything that is like silicone or rubber in there, I feel like could be gone over. So maybe just getting some new coolant hoses, new radiator, just to help out a little bit. I'd like to get a different overflow tank than the 20-year-old NOS energy drink bottle that's been sitting in there as an overflow tank.
That's probably a good idea.
Good. Yeah, just cleaning stuff up, and then ideally, I'd like to get a new body kit for the car because that one is just beat up. The KBD bumper, it holds up, and it has gone through the abuse of what I've put that car through, but it's heavy and it doesn't mount to the car that well.
Sure.
And then some new fenders and stuff like that. And then
Have you thought about
painting it. I want to paint it.
Have you thought about the most important mod at all?
What?
Just swapping the engine to something with more than 27 horsepower.
There is nothing wrong with the KA.
Yeah, I feel like at US Air, why you don't even really.
I'm not. Listen, I agree. I agree-ish. I just I could imagine your driving behavior now with 40 more horsepower.
It's gonna be great,
and it would be awesome. You'd already be there. You'd be linking everything. You'd be looking like a rock star.
So I've been talking to Dakota about this too because I do get it. I understand there's a lot more potential there. I just love the idea of driving the 240 like it is, and I plan to keep that car for a long time.
Okay.
And probably that'll be the car where I make like the really nice drift car.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually I want to get something just that I can just go get seat time in.
Sure. Like a 350?
Probably something like that. 350. Or, I mean, I honestly wouldn't mind hopping back into like an FRS or platform or something
That'd be
like that.
kind of cool. Yeah. Gels?
That's Joe's.
Dakota?
Zez.
Dakota, calm down.
See, we joke about like people getting us mixed up. Alex literally fucking
no,
gets us
He
mixed
looked
up.
right at him.
Yeah, if you're just listening, Alex looked me dead in the eyes and said,
Gels?
"Gels?"
So here's the thing. There's a little bit of trauma from my childhood because my dad, when he was learning English, he when my brother and I were
you
young.
Gels?
No, he would go. This dude, he would look at me and he'd be like, Juan, Paul, mijo, son, who are you? Alex. Hey, let's go. We got to go outside.
You.
I'd be like, what? You called me every name except my name. He's like, yeah, well,
We'll get there."
English. And I'm like, you can't do that. I'm
blames
14 now.
Blames it on English. Man.
Gels.
So I'm going to do the same thing.
crazy.
Dakota, how is good car going?
Dude,
Good deal.
it looks a million times better. I'm really happy with how it's progressed.
What is it for the people that may not know?
Yeah, I've been working on a Mark IV Jetta.
Not just
and-
any Mark IV Jetta.
Oh, are you talking about a 2002
Yeah.
GLI with a VR6?
Christ,
But not the 12 valve.
No.
The
24.
24 valve. Really nice.
I hate that. I hate all of that.
It's not the GLI that has the 20th anniversary stuff, so it doesn't have like the Recaros and
Yeah,
like
yeah.
lip kit and stuff on it, unfortunately. I do really love that lip kit. I do like the seats that are in it. It has the full leather seats. Anyways, I've been kind of, I bought it and it was in good shape, I would say. It was solid. But then I kind of neglected it for the last couple of years because it was literally my point A to point B car, and I didn't even think of it in any other way. That car was a tool to me. I don't know what happened, but like it flipped and it was like,
You flipped?
no, I didn't flip
Oh.
the car. I flipped personally. I rolled over one day and I was like, I should do something with this. It's a good car. It's treated me well, honestly, even though it has its issues like every Volkswagen. It's never left me stranded. So I'm going to treat it nice. Been working on it. I've fucked up a couple, 2, 3, 5, 10 times and destroyed some stuff while working on it.
Part of it.
But the most recent endeavor, I put on new wheels, new tires, new suspension, all that shit.
What'd you put on? Call it out.
Oh, I put on some Silvers coilovers with Swift springs, and then I'm not going to give my opinion fully on those yet. I'm going to give it a little more time to drive on them. I'm not sure yet. Anyways, and then I put on some 1552 podium wheels.
I think those look sick, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, I upsized. I went from I think the factory ones are 17s. These are 18s, so it fills it out a little bit better. And then I got some DWS 06 Continental tires. Absolutely love those. Those have been great. I do wish I would have went a little smaller with them. I could have went a little smaller on the tire, but yeah, I was going for daily. I wanted to be able to really get some good tread on there. You know what I'm saying?
Jesus.
I'm paying for the tire. I'm going to
Anyways,
get the
I
tire.
install all this stuff because the stock suspension was so fucking clapped. It was absolutely just blown out. Bad. And I put everything new in, got new wheels on, and all of a sudden I started getting vibration like crazy. Like I shouldn't say vibration. It was just a as I'm driving, but it was weird. Only when I pressed in the clutch or when I was lightly on the gas.
Oh, yeah.
Would it make this noise?
I can imagine you explaining this to like a tech rep at a dealership. Like, no, only when you
Yeah.
turn slightly to the
Dude,
guy's
it
like
was-
okay,
I know.
rapidly
But
writing
we
things
all
down.
get that though. We all get
Yes,
that because
yeah.
like we know our cars. We know them inside and out. like we've all been there where it's like, I know what you think it is.
Yeah. It's
but
not
hear me
that,
out.
yeah.
Because it only happens when, and it's never done that before.
Yeah. And so I started racking my brain. I was like, fuck. Like, I don't know if something's up with the axle. Like,
Yeah, what was it?
All right.
Yeah, what was it, Dakota?
So
What was the whole clutch
You didn't
in
know,
only on the gas issue?
the 1552 podiums have a cover on them. So I took that off to see my Satan spawned lug bolts.
And what'd you
And when I
find?
took the cover off, the lug bolts just came out with it. And they were fucking, one was completely out. The rest were all finger fucking loose when I jacked up in the air. I could fucking spin them, or I put the red, just.
Why?
And,
Why were they loose?
Yeah.
This was my fault. 110%. No fault to anyone but myself. Well, the 2 times I was putting them on was in the night. Once was in the rain.
In the night, in the cold.
I only could have a thin wall socket that would fit. I didn't have thin wall sockets.
So use his fingies.
I used my fingies, and I used just a regular, like, little tiny socket set. And so I was only tightening them with like a fucking 6-inch ratchet. So I couldn't torque them down. So I might have tightened them as best of my ability, but they backed themselves out, or I forgot that wheel and I haven't figured out either. So this is a sign. If you recently put on new wheels, double
tighten
check your lug nuts, lug bolts, torque them to spec, and don't be an idiot. Because God, dude, I had that car weeble wobbling with the cruise set at 80 miles an hour. And it was just...
I do want you to know we would make sure you're okay if you crash. Like, we would be the first ones on the scene. We'd make sure to call Maya, make sure that you're all good. And then once we know that you're alive, we would never let that go.
Well, thank God the wheels stayed on.
I'll just never forget. Like, it was like a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Dakota like came to work. He's like, oh, dude. Because I asked him, like, oh, you got the wheels on? He's like, yeah, I got the wheels on. And I was like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? He's like, dude, it's like everything is just, it's weird. Like, it's making noise. And he was like telling me about, it's only when the clutch is in, or it's like if I'm on the gas,
story,
but not like
yeah.
fully on the gas. Got the story. He's like, dude, it's just on the highway. It was just driving me nuts. I get a Snapchat later that night of the cap coming off and the lug bolts falling out. Like, found the issue. I'm like, bro.
And it's been right as rain ever since.
It's been good since then.
Look
huh?
at that.
That's good.
You're a mechanic.
Basically.
Yeah.
That's pretty much how it
You
goes.
built that car.
So yeah, that's where I've been. So Alex, why don't you enlighten us on the S2000?
Yeah.
What
Why is it in the air?
where'd you get the energy to all of a sudden lift this up?
So for those that don't know, we lifted it up in the air and moved it slightly closer to me.
Yes.
But really, I've spent the last like 3 weeks just doing a bunch of research to get this APR S2 wide body kit on the goddamn car.
Yeah.
So here's what we figured out in the last few weeks.
Okay.
First off, I learned what we need to do with the side skirts. I learned how they mount. I learned what hardware used to come with the kit that no longer comes with the kit. So
Okay.
we know what we have to make.
Nice.
I also
Come with the kit.
learned that I don't know how fiberglass works. So I'm bringing a good friend of mine to come help this weekend to line everything up.
I've heard fiberglass is scary, and that's all I know about it.
It's
Well, it's unforgiving, right?
well.
I don't
That
know.
shit crack you done.
I mean, yeah, but
Yeah.
It's not like your fucking 240 bumper that came folded up in
It
a.
just does this.
Well,
like
I
you-
know.
You
Thank
sit
God.
on it and just vibrates
This
back.
shit hit the ground
I know.
and it's.
Oh yeah, it explodes. It explodes.
So
but-
I would assume trying to manipulate it is also scary.
yeah.
'cause
See, that's what. But you said that you found that you can kind of manipulate it with heat a little bit.
Yes. So I learned because there's some very interesting people in this world that make websites for all sorts of different purposes, and there is somebody who is dedicated to teaching the confines of what you can do with fiberglass.
That's
Bless
good
their
because
soul.
it is used everywhere. So.
And I had 3-hour drive up north, and I decided, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna listen to this guy talk about fiberglass for 3 hours, and I did.
Hell yeah,
And it was
Sounds
terrible.
awesome.
I hated every moment of it, but
I'm gonna do that.
I learned a lot about it. I learned what we can do with it and how to
Okay.
make things fit without adding too much strain. And then while I was doing that, I also started saying, okay, I've told, my YouTube audience that the S2000 was going to go be a time attack or
Yeah.
a wheel-to-wheel car. And I'm like, I got to stop saying that, and I got to go learn what that actually means in depth. So I printed off the 3 packets of regulations and rule books from Grid Life.
I've been seeing that float around.
Yep. And I've been reaching out to Grid Life probably a couple times a day, learning what I can do with the car, what I can't do with the car, what class it's going to be in, because it's a turbo K24 swap. It's not an F-Series naturally
Yeah,
aspirated.
that definitely doesn't put you in like the entry level.
No, it doesn't. Idiot.
Isn't that like isn't autocross kind of like that too?
Yes,
It's like
they're very specific with their
you
classes.
put like coilovers on the car, you're like automatically
Modified.
like
Street modified. Go get them,
It's
Tiger.
a little more lenient,
Okay,
than that,
okay.
but there is very specific. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been really working on that, so I know what I've got to do with the car to make it ready for time attack, and I know what
That's-
class I'm going to be in.
that's super exciting.
Yeah.
I am so jealous. I would love to do time attack.
So then I started to realize, well, what is needed for like wheel-to-wheel racing? And I think what I'm
That
going to
sounds
do
scary. I don't know about that.
this year or going into 2024, get this car finished up, get it wrapped. We're going to wrap it because we're probably going to take it and abuse it and break something. And like, I don't want to paint it. But the goal for next
Yeah, you
year,
should paint it.
time attack,
Should paint it.
wrap.
Okay.
Because if I do something with the front bumper, wrapping is easier to recover. But then I want to get my certification, whether that be like a novice competition license or something like that. I want to get it with
What does a certification like mean? Like, what does that entail once you get it?
It just means that you can go to somebody like Grid Life and say, hey, I've sat down, I've done the things, I've read the stuff, and I know how to drive here.
So kind of like forklift certified.
Yes.
So since I was forklift certified and I could train people on forklift, do you think I could
I would
probably
just,
wheel race?
if you just take the forklift and just like cross it out and just
Yes.
put car,
Yeah.
I think it would work.
Okay.
Car lift license.
Car lift license.
No, but legit, you can't tell me that you're not piss your pants a little scared of doing wheel-to-wheel racing.
I am scared shitless actually
Yeah.
because I've taken a lot of inspiration recently from Gears and Gasoline.
Sure.
Ben and Ben, they do an incredible job showcasing.
Oh my
I
god,
think
they
like
kill it.
Yeah, the series that they've been doing lately with their adventure and that has
well, like
been
the
insane to
reality
watch.
of it.
Yeah.
You know, the reality of like, here you have this video. YouTube is like, people are always winning. Like, you watch a YouTuber and it's like, they never lose. They're
Right.
always fucking going at it. And it's like, if they lose, it's very marginalized. Like, oh, whatever, you know, I lost. I'll get them at the next one. And like, we watched the Laguna Seca video and I sat there and I got to the end where Ben's car couldn't get into like
Yeah, the
any
shift-
other gear. It was just stuck
Bracket
and
on the
forth.
shift linkage went out. Yeah.
And my heart just like dropped. And that feeling and like showing that to an
emotion.
audience, I loved that. So I am really scared. I am really nervous, but I think with next year, if we can get the car done, get it into time attack, and I can get some more time, you know, at Road America and stuff like that with it, 2025 is when I would really like to get into wheel-to-wheel racing.
Okay.
That'd be the goal.
Baby steps.
That's super exciting. And I'm excited to see
Oh yeah.
this car get its time
It
because
needs it.
I know it's been a long time, but
Yeah.
I think it will be worth it because it looks a little rough.
Yeah.
But I can see the vision.
Yeah,
Did you have a new transmission put in this also?
so it has new clutch and things like that. It does not have a different differential though.
Oh, okay.
So here's the thing: is in the class, I can't actually put an aftermarket diff
Okay.
in, but I can put different gearing in there if I want to.
Ah.
So what I think I'm going to do is just use this year to pretty much get to a point where I can blow it up and then just replace it with something else.
That's pretty much been the story of this car.
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we have to
literally.
like. I'm probably going to detune the car even more and just put it at like 400.
Healthy.
Yeah, 400.
A
That's it. Because
detuned
right
tough
now it's at
400.
480. So I'm gonna bring it down.
Good. That's pretty good.
And then, you know, people started giving me a little bit of smack, which rightfully so. I didn't know, but like the Michelin Pilot Sport 4S's, the tread wear on them is like 320, and you can go down to a 200 tread wear tire for time attack,
Ooh, yeah,
which
yeah.
the Sport Cup 2 is a 240.
Okay.
But again, it was like, let's just get the car done driving, seat time, and then when I start really
get
feeling
your,
like I
get
need
your
different
feet
tires,
wet a little bit.
Yeah.
You know. No, I am really excited. I think, dude, this thing's gonna look so fucking killer when it's done. Because I don't know if I've ever seen this kit on a car. Or if I have, I just didn't know what it was. But dude, this kit is rowdy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
pretty
like
wild.
Those side skirts are gonna add
When
so
it's
much.
all
when
one
they're-
color,
my
oh
God.
my god, this car's gonna fucking.
You have an
transform.
APR wing coming too.
Yep, APR wing, APR side skirts. I'm sorry, side mirrors, And then, yeah, what I'm really excited for is I feel kind of bad because, like, we have their VR forged DO3Rs, 18x9 and 18x10.
I see MartiniWorks engraved into there, so that's kind of
pretty
crazy.
sick. It's
And
fun.
VR Forged definitely hooked me up on these wheels, and the whole project has just been kind of a disaster in terms of getting things done on time. So they've been sitting there, and they're like,
Hey,
"Okay, can you do something with those wheels?" And it's like, "I'm sorry, I'm trying my best." So I am really excited because I do have a lot of really incredible partners that have helped with the car so far, and I really want to get it done.
more.
Yeah.
So it sounds like this is, I mean, obviously we moved it around yesterday, got it up in the air. You're working on it, starting on it this weekend?
Yeah, starting on it this
Lisa
weekend.
filming this?
Yeah, the audience won't see the build until probably like February, though. February, March.
So
I really
that's-
want to get ahead of
Yeah.
it.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I'd hate to
Yeah,
like.
you know how working.
Yeah,
on
believe it
cars
or not,
goes.
not everyone can just bust out a video a day. With
Literally,
working
like
on insane
when I was
parts
working
of
on the
cars.
Jetta, even, and I was
Yeah.
doing very simple stuff. It was like the first few episodes went great, but then you hit that wall where shit happens, and you need
You really
certain
start
things,
getting
and
into it, yeah.
Holy Jesus! And that was just simple stuff. So when you start getting here,
Yeah.
let it just take time to film, get the episode set aside, and when it's all ready to release, release. I think that's so much smarter.
Yeah, it'll be a blast. I'm really excited. Like I've really tried to humble myself, I guess, kind of jumping back into
This car will do it.
to building stuff, you know, and talking about stuff. So I don't know anything about fiberglass. I brought somebody with to teach.
I'm going to say, I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but this is going to be probably one of the more in-depth builds outside or since your Datsun.
Yeah.
Really.
Yeah, pretty much.
I feel like this shares very similar characteristics
Yes.
to the Datsun.
Absolutely. And I was at that threshold in the fall this year. So if you're listening, I had a 76 Datsun 280Z, and like the last year I owned it, I started getting frustrated. So I started just making changes without like thinking about it too much because I felt like I was freezing on it.
Sure.
And those decisions were the worst decisions I ever made.
Yeah.
And
I
so
feel that.
I was sitting on this car and I was about to do the same thing. Like I was about to just make decisions like this and not think anything of it.
Just to get it done with.
And I'm so glad I didn't. And I
I'm glad you didn't. do
printed
that.
off some rules and I started looking at the car and actually figuring out, am I overbuilding it? And the answer was yes. So I was like, okay, stop overbuilding it. You don't need a bunch of shit on the inside of the car. You need seat time. So get the car done so you can get seat time.
It's very mature of you.
Thanks, dude.
I'm excited for it.
I'm excited too. We're going to take a small break. Hopefully you guys enjoyed us catching up on our car builds. If you want to share a comment on what you're doing with your car, we would absolutely love to hear it in the comments.
Wait! This episode is brought to you by Continental Tires, the official tire of the MartiniWorks podcast. As you know, we did this whole shindig so we could promote the brands we like and we enjoy, and Continental is 100% one of them. Oh, it pissed me off the other day. I seen a comment of like, someone's like, you're only talking about this tire because you got paid to do it. It's like, no, I would be talking about this tire regardless. This is what I was running before they ever paid me to do
They
it.
just so happen to pay us.
Yeah, they like us. We like them.
Yeah.
That's why we run them. And that's why we tell you guys about them, because I am 100% confident that if I tell you to get Extreme Contact Sport 02 or a DWS 06 Plus, you're going to go get it and you're going to enjoy it and like it. And that's all I ever want to do in life is talk about the car parts I like. So make sure to check out Continental. They support us. We support them. And it's a great partnership. And it's a fantastic tire for you to run. I literally have every weather condition covered currently by Continental. And I do not have a single complaint other than all of a sudden I'm into tires and I've been a tire nerd lately. It's really weird.
nerd.
Yeah, I got old. I feel old, but tires have been cool.
Yeah. So check out Continental Tires.
We'll be right back. If you are watching the podcast and you are looking at B Camera right now, I want everyone to know that B Camera is currently being held up by two Ferrari 360 Modena rotors.
Is that what those are?
That's what those are.
If you see the behind the scenes of this podcast, you would question how anything gets done at
It
all.
is so bad. It is awesome, but it is terrible. Kind of like the weather up here in Wisconsin, which if you're a car enthusiast, it don't make it easy. I'm going to give you one example of probably something, if you don't live up north, you would never know you have to deal with. And that is when you go out and it's snowing and you shovel or you use a snowblower, and then the what do they call it? What's the big motherfucker comes driving down? Snowplow. Them big bitches come down the road, right? And it's icy, and they come through and they snowplow everything. They will snowplow your driveway back in. And you can have everything perfectly snowblowed.
I want to fight a motherfucker when they do that.
And if you live up north, you know how bad this is because it looks like a glacier at the end of your road, and you cannot get your car over it because it's frozen.
And it's not their fault.
No.
But it's such a pain in the ass
It
because
is
you'll
the
be
worst,
like,
yeah.
oh, 2 inches of snow, that's not bad. But the problem is the fucking snowblower guys are like, it's like literally 16
Yeah, but
inches
it's like,
of just sheer ice.
It's 2 inches that they've been pushing down a 3-mile road for the last, half hour.
And it weighs literally 7,200 pounds.
And it's always
It's like
after
because
you
you
get
get
your
up at
driveway
like
done.
5 a.m., go get it all done.
Be productive.
To be productive
Yep.
because you don't want to drive on it because then you get the ice tracks on it that are impossible and your ice freezes. So you get up early, you go do it.
Yeah.
You go to leave for work, and guess what? It doesn't matter because you have to fucking do it again because the
know.
fucking snowplow comes through at 7:30.
It's the worst thing in the world. So in terms of one of the best states to live in as a car enthusiast,
Not Wisconsin.
probably ain't.
I wouldn't. I would say
There
there's
are-
benefits.
yeah.
Like the fall in Wisconsin and cruising, super dope.
Can't
We have
beat it.
Road America. We have
Can't
some
beat
nice
it.
tracks and stuff like that, but
And
not the ideal living
yeah, the
situation
weather
for a car
the
enthusiast.
weather for 60% of the year, not the most ideal. However, summer's usually slap. And anywhere that I've lived in this state, cops really don't seem to give a shit.
I would
That's
I
true.
would agree with
Anything.
that.
That's underrated.
I would agree with that.
I mean, I have had
Yeah,
my
you've
fair
had your
share of
run-ins,
run-ins
yeah.
and some officers that specifically don't like modified
But it's like
cars.
I don't have to worry about like going to drive
Like
my
them
car
Cali
to the
boys?
store or work and getting it fucking taken away forever.
impounded,
fair.
crushed, etc.
Title taken away. Yeah, like
I mean, that's a really good point. I've never even thought about a car getting impounded.
you don't have to.
I've never had to. And California people are like, Hyundai
It's
Veloster
a
has
risk every time they
Dude,
take them out.
I got a chance to ride in Randy from Eliminate's S15
Yeah.
in California, and we were going for a cruise. And the entire time, it felt like we were 5 stars on GTA. Dude, it was like, cop, and he's like radioing the guy behind us, cover me, get in front of me so you can't see me, cover me. And, you know, he's like, because like, if that car got seen and it had the modifications and everything, like it was imported, everything,
Yeah.
fine, but it doesn't matter because California and the modifications and all that shit, it could be impounded or just taken completely. And it was scary, but it was such like a rush too because it's like, he turned! And that was really sick. But
Like,
yeah.
what the fuck?
But again, we were going around the block.
Yeah. It's like I just want to take you for a ride, and,
Yeah.
and you almost just
So
get it taken away.
definitely
Yeah.
have never considered that. You're right.
I've heard a lot of people really enjoy Florida as a car enthusiast.
Really?
Yeah.
Who's telling you that?
People that live in Florida.
Yeah, no, I would agree. We always talk about Sean on this podcast. We're gonna get him on it one day, I swear to God. But he moved to Florida, and like the videos he sends me and shit,
Insane.
it seems like car enthusiast capital of the world. Like, dude's always at a car show, car meet. Always, constantly. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. There's always
Every
a
night,
car meet.
every
And
night.
then when he's not doing that, he's going over to Cletus.
Yep.
And watching the most crazy fucking car shit. And it's like a Tuesday evening.
Yeah.
And it just goes year round until you have to evacuate for
Yeah, I'm not sure because you know a lot of the car laws and stuff you hear of like California, like that's the big car law, can't modify your car stuff. How is it in Florida? Do you think is it better?
I don't think Florida gives a fuck about anything.
I would agree. I don't think Florida really does care. It's a little bit like Texas. Texas doesn't care about the mods. What they care about is 19-year-olds going $170 down the Beltway in
That's
a
fair.
Camaro.
I don't know. Do they care about that?
So
Because I've seen a lot of that.
yeah, well, there's a lot of people in Texas.
Yeah, there is. That's the new California.
I think I really want to go back to explore the Texas car culture because that is like the horsepower capital of the world, I think, still to this day. But people are like, the cops and sheriffs and stuff, they don't really care about the mods. They just wait there to see how fast you're going, and then they will catch up. Like, they have cars specific to catching up to high-speed racers on the Beltway, which
kinda
is
sick,
nuts. It's
honestly.
like Need for Speed.
Yeah. Hot Pursuit.
Yeah.
There is a state I still have in the back of my head that I really enjoyed. We went,
Okay.
and that was Washington. Washington had some insane quality cars.
I've never been.
That was an interesting one too. And we found out because we were talking to some of the people because I remember, we were there for Formula Drift, Seattle. And for most Formula Drift events, they have like a car show that goes along with it. Like a lot of like the local people come out or like people come out for like vendors and stuff and they have like a car show section. And, all of them were like, saw some pretty cool cars, but the Seattle one, Alex and I was walking around like, how the fuck are like 90% of these cars here?
Yeah.
And like, where did they come from? And like, these are just insane.
Yeah, they're like,
Yeah, I know.
Shocker. Canada doesn't have the fucking 25-year rule.
Yeah.
And guess what's really close to Canada? Washington.
Also, isn't Seattle's like the hub where cars that are imported
It's
all
one of
come
the
in.
first spots, yeah.
Yeah.
it was nuts because obviously you have the R34, GTR, Spec V, NER 2, blah blah. You know, all the now all the trims are what make the GTR cool. If you just have a GTR,
You're not cool anymore.
Yeah, you're peasant shit.
What if I don't even have a GTR?
I hate to tell you this, but you're not a car enthusiast, apparently.
But like even the other stuff that was there was insane.
Because it was just like some really cool like,
everything
body
perfect.
stuff. There was, I remember we, I can't
Was that
remember.
Integra? Do you remember that?
The Integra was super neat.
But it was a
But
DC5.
there was, I'm sorry, I can't remember his name because we talked to him for a long time, but he had the Stagia.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like, you know, he was very adamant. He's like, I'm not swapping the front end to a fucking GTR front end.
Yeah.
He's like, these cars are super sick how they are. And it was immaculate.
Yeah.
That thing was so clean. It was so well done. Had some really good parts on it. And he was very passionate about that car.
And
Super
and
neat.
when we were talking to a couple of the people, they were saying that the roads out there were like really
Nice.
insane
Yeah.
too, like super nice, very like naturey and like
Oh,
a
yeah.
lot of force, which I think is awesome. We get that here in Wisconsin when you start heading up north to like Sturgeon Bay and stuff like that.
Yeah,
right?
there's some roads. The problem here is we don't have much for elevation change.
Yeah,
which
you have to go west.
it's a curvy road, but like,
leads me to say, like, obviously I haven't lived in other states, but I've been to quite a few now and driven in them. And I really, really, really enjoyed like Tennessee, Arkansas area because I absolutely love driving in the mountains. Like,
Okay.
that's hard for me to beat.
If you guys are listening or you're watching, please drop a comment for section 2 of the podcast and tell us where do you think is the best state to live as a car enthusiast.
many
We would love to
comments.
hear it. That'd be well, you know, I'm just trying to keep
I
everybody
just love to know
involved.
why. Because like, I haven't been
Yeah.
everywhere. I haven't experienced, like, if I have been somewhere, it's like I haven't
Yeah.
been there.
Don't say
in, like, my
Arkansas, then
car.
not explain yourself.
Yeah,
'cause
like
then-
I want to know why, and I want to know both pros and cons.
Yeah.
because like every state has pros and cons. Like Florida,
Yeah,
cool,
right.
stuff going on every night. Cons,
alligators kill you.
Alligators at the car meet.
but no,
Florida man, bath salts.
you brought up a good point. Southwestern Wisconsin, kind of a hidden gem. A lot of
Yeah.
elevation down there with the driftless area and stuff like that. I feel like maybe that kind of like Tennessee area, like the Kansas area, like kind of like right in the middle.
I drove through Kansas once. I wasn't going through for like
I feel like nothing
driving fun,
happens
but
there.
I didn't
Nothing
I can't
really-
remember like being like, this is dope.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it's maybe just like in kind of like
That's
in the
Tornado Alley.
It's in the middle. Oh yeah, tornadoes. I don't fuck with tornadoes.
Oh,
Tornadoes just they're scary.
Yeah.
What's the worst state to live in as a car
I
enthusiast?
feel like it's
Okay.
gotta be New York.
Yeah, I was literally just gonna say New York.
Are
New
you
York.
kidding me? What about Alaska or Hawaii? Can you imagine how much shipping is on car parts?
The thing
Yeah.
is Hawaii
Yeah.
does have a pretty like robust car culture.
They do.
They really
I feel
do.
for them, but you got to. I'm convinced you got to
But
be
it's
like
gotta be
rich
so-
to live in Hawaii because milk is like $8 a gallon.
I was never as surprised to see cars of a certain type than I was when I went to Hawaii. I went to Hawaii and I'm literally sitting there and I'm like,
Bragging.
okay, we're about to go, we're about to go to like the next stop, and I'm like sitting there, I'm just looking around, just kind of checking things out, and like there's a road. I'm like,
Tacomas.
oh, Tacoma,
Dude, yeah, the
Tacoma.
official.
Oh really?
Tacoma.
That is what it is.
Tacoma.
Yeah.
I was with Becca. You can ask her, and we must have seen. I still have the video of like 22 Tacomas in like a row.
I've
it's
heard
like
this
the
from other
official
people, too.
goddamn
Yeah,
vehicle.
I've heard it, but I never have had
and then I was like,
confirmation.
oh my god, thank God that's not another Tacoma. Forerunner. I'm like,
What about Jeeps? Jeeps out there?
Jeeps are
So
popular, but
basically
tacos.
a lot of overlands.
Yeah, but tacos take the cake.
Oh, 100%.
Absolutely.
Interesting. No, I don't know. I just New York.
I feel like
just
Alaska
seems
would be the worst.
rough for me personally. I don't know. It's-
New York, I could also. Yeah. I feel like the roads are super shit. They have really shitty weather.
yeah, because
Bad
it's like
laws.
they get the same weather that we do, plus some hurricanes sometimes.
And a huge city to go through.
Well,
That's scary.
there's a lot of New York that isn't the city.
I know, but I just
No, it's all.
it's
It's all Times Square.
It's all that. Yeah,
That's fucking.
that's all I can picture.
What about Rhode Island? Because you go for a cruise and then you're just out of the state.
Fair. It's kind of hard to
so
argue that one when
can't
it's hard to
be- yeah.
stay in the state.
Can't even fucking stay in it if
It's
you
like,
go for a drive.
oh yeah, I love Rhode Island being a car enthusiast. It's like, well, you drive to Massachusetts all the time.
All your roads are outside the state. And Anyway, I've never been.
It's like
so I
your
don't know.
experiences are leased to another state,
Yeah.
pretty much.
I mean, Virginia seems nice too.
Virginia was kind of cool.
I fucked with
Carolina.
Virginia.
Yeah,
Virginia,
I
Carolina.
liked Virginia. They have mountains.
Yeah.
Weather's decent.
Yeah.
They don't have garages,
That's true.
which was weird
And
as
there's
fuck.
and their spiders are very big.
Yeah, they got some
Spiders are very
weird.
big. Are you
just
checking
flipping
to
this.
see if it?
I'm just flipping this so I can see it. We're good.
You know, it was kind of a shell shock when we went to Gatlinburg for the first time, and I found a scorpion in our room. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
How are you there?
That's a desert insect. What? Why? I'm like, I just remember going to everyone like, did you know there were scorpions in Tennessee? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, where did the education system fail me?
I just-
to not tell me there were fucking scorpions in Tennessee.
I just feel like when you walk into like Tennessee gas stations, they always have like the pamphlets. They're like, go to this water slide, go to this park, go to this nature museum. It should be like, what to fucking look out for in Tennessee? First page. Scorpions exist in this state, and they will fuck you up.
yeah.
I mean, the ones I seen were like smaller than
I
the
don't
size
care.
of a penny.
I'd rather have
doesn't
a big
matter.
scorpion.
It doesn't matter. Yeah,
Yeah, but
agree.
what about
agree?
What about the tick in Virginia
Oh,
that
yeah.
bites you and you can't eat red meat anymore?
Okay, so I remember. Yes, this is a very real. The
This is a
Lone
very
Star
specific
tick.
thing.
No,
it's
this
scary.
freaked us the fuck out. The
Yeah.
Lone Star tick. Fucking, I remember hearing about this back in middle school, and so I'm like, oh, that's crazy. Like, whatever. I thought it was
Was
just
it
like
Ben was telling us about from
Yeah,
Gears and Gasoline?
So they're like, so we go to Virginia. We're hanging out with the guys from Gears and Gasoline, and we're hanging out with the guys from Driver.
Yep,
because they're
Motorsport,
very
yeah.
very close.
Very close.
And yeah, we're kind of going through the Blue Ridge Mountain Parkway or whatever it was with Ben. And yeah, we were like kind of like hiking around. He's like, "Oh yeah, make sure you guys check yourself for ticks." And Dakota's like, "What the fuck do you mean?" He's like, "We're from Wisconsin, we know." He's like, "No, there's the one that like if it bites you, you can't eat red meat anymore. Like you cannot
For
eat
life.
it, like for life forever." And we're like, "What?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, it's also like microscopic."
Yeah, it's
We're like,
I'm like, I don't even
okay.
after we were like walking around in the woods and shit
Yeah.
like that, and I'm like, oh my god, okay, well, okay, it's probably not that common or anything. And then we go to Driver Motorsports and we're looking at all the fucking dope cars they have, and then
we're like, we should go get something to eat.
and yeah, Kurt's like, well, do they have chicken there? We're like, yeah, why? I mean,
Well,
he's like, oh, I can't have red meat, and we're like,
Not the tick. He's like, yeah.
yeah, the tick. We're like, holy shit. It's close to home, my God.
I'm never going
We're
out
like,
in the forest.
we're like looking up maps of like where this thing is, and we're like in the red zone.
The center of the
Actually, yeah, never mind. Fuck Virginia.
well, no, it's not just Virginia. It's in Texas. It's in a
Yeah,
bunch
it's like
of
it's
southern
all along
states.
like the coast. It seems like it's
And
kinda weird.
apparently it's a lot more common than you think. So yeah,
That's-
maybe those states are rolled out.
yeah.
I love red meat.
I forgot about that.
I love red meat. I'm not losing red meat.
Over
The
driving your
bug.
car.
I'll take the fucking snow. I'll take the snow over Lone
That
Star.
What kind of
is- that is-
sadistic shit is that?
I don't know.
Why do we need a bug that makes you allergic to meat?
There is something to be said about living up north, which I think is sometimes overstated, and that is yes, the weather does make it very hard to be a car enthusiast. But
You know what else makes
the
it hard
rest,
for? Bugs.
the rest of the quality of life up here is pretty great because the snow kills
Everything.
everything that could probably hurt you,
Including me.
Yeah.
and
I
at the-
ain't hurting anyone in winter.
yeah, and it kind of
don't have
like
the energy for
it
it.
allows you to appreciate the summer months more versus it just
It
always
does, it
being
does.
on.
You're right. A nice day hit different when you're in Wisconsin. You're like,
also-
everyone is like, man, it's a nice day today, isn't it? You're like, fuck yeah, it is.
It also forces us to work on our cars because we're paying for them and not actually using them. So we're like, fuck, we should probably do something.
Also, yeah, and we have to get shit done because you want it done by the time winter's over.
That is exactly why you should live in Wisconsin as a car enthusiast. It forces you to get shit done. The bugs won't kill you. The cold sucks, but at least when you look at your car and it's 50 degrees outside, you say, you know what? I will open up that
And-
sunroof.
supper clubs.
And supper clubs are
Old-fashions.
so freaking good. We're going to take a small break, and we're going to be coming back where we do some news. We talk about some out of context, of course, because we're bringing it back.
Ooh, okay.
And then I think what else are we finishing up with? That's it.
That's the last segment.
Giles, anything you'd like to share?
I would like to share our second sponsor of the MartiniWorks podcast, which is, of course, Fortune Auto. Fortune Auto Coilovers has come on board for a sponsorship of the MartiniWorks podcast, which is absolutely awesome. We can't thank them guys over there enough. Plus, they make some fantastic freaking coilovers. Whether you guys want something for your daily driver or just your downright track rat, they got you covered. And they're like super good quality. They're hand built in the USA. They're upgradable. They're rebuildable. You can get so many different options with those coilovers. And We all
green.
run them,
Oh.
and they're green. They look
Yeah.
beautiful.
I like the color.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know you're not going to see your coilovers, but just knowing that they look really cool is really cool.
Yeah.
So, Fortunato, thank you guys so much. If you guys are looking for Fortunatos, don't forget you can pick them up over at MartiniWorks because you can mod your car at MartiniWorks with Fortunato.
What a plug.
What a
Nice
great
work.
job.
Thank you.
We'll be right back.
And I said, hey, we're back.
We're back. Welcome back. All right, so we're going to be talking a little bit about out of context, and of course, we got some breaking news. What would you like to do first, Dakota?
Let's do the breaking news.
Yeah, hit me with some news.
You want me to hit you with some news?
Hit me with some facts.
Is there anything new happening?
Facts.
Honestly, not really.
All right.
Everyone
they're-
slows down for winter.
Well, let's
a little
pretend like there's stuff happening. What you got?
Okay, so well, let me just try to find a good one. Most of these aren't that good.
We need a riff.
The Maserati Quattroporte is still the undisputed king of depreciation.
I was gonna say, do people
Let's talk
still
about
buy
it.
Maseratis?
I thought you were gonna say it's like under.
Are Maseratis good cars at all?
No.
I don't really understand.
I've never heard a good thing spoken of Maserati, maybe in a rap song, and that's it.
Okay, so here's a little fun fact by the OP. He said the Porsche 911, for instance, depreciates an average of 9.3% over 5 years, making it a really great car to pick up if you can afford it. For the Maserati Quattroporte, it's 64.5%, or about $90,000 off of the average list price.
Shit, that's insane.
No wonder I never see them for sale. It's because when you buy them, you're stuck with it because
Yeah.
you can't get out of it.
Just forever owe more than the car is worth.
That would be the worst.
Holy shit.
That would be the worst thing to experience.
I feel like
as
that's
an owner.
I feel like that's every
60%.
Mercedes out there too.
You have
Mercedes
to
is
lease
bad
it.
about
you
it
have
too.
to lease it.
Why is that? Why is the Mercedes depreciation so bad? Do you know this?
maintenance,
I feel
I
like
feel
you know
like.
this.
So I do have one of the major reasons is because these vehicles are heavy leased vehicles.
Okay.
So they have a lot of commercial purpose. A lot of times people, they lease Mercedes for like luxury purposes and things like that. And because they're so mass produced and because there's so many of them, they still demand a premium. And then because they're leased, you get like back end credits and stuff like that too. So pretty much the person that gets the short end of the stick with some of the larger Mercedes lease models is the government, which really is us because we have to pay the taxes regardless.
That's great.
I feel like
Thanks,
it's
Mercedes.
what I've seen for Mercedes. That makes sense. That was a very educated answer, Alex. But my big dumb brain says Mercedes owner has car all of a sudden start breaking with like electronics, spark plugs need to be changed out, etc.
All like
They go to
24 of
do
them.
it, and it's like fucking 15 grand for basic maintenance, and then the electrical stuff is never ending. And they're like, I'm just gonna get rid of this fucking thing. It's my nightmare.
That's fair.
And that happens.
Yeah, I don't. The toughest thing for me, and it sounds so bad, the Nissan Z will still be the dumbest purchase I've ever made before.
you!
And
Title of
I,
the video.
And I don't plan on keeping it for a long period of time because that
Wow.
depreciation curve is gonna hurt. I feel like it doesn't make sense, dude, to keep a car.
Never buy a car brand new.
Yeah,
ever.
pretty much. Anyway, let's talk about
Someone do it because we need to buy used cars still.
yeah.
Oh,
If
that's
you want to
true.
buy my Nissan Z. Anyway, so what are some controversial car opinions you always wanted to say without getting downvoted? This is a spicy one.
Jesus.
I want you guys to give me your thoughts on their controversial opinion.
Okay.
Deal? Number 1. Supercars are lame. Anything beyond a 911 just does nothing for me. If I won some $1 million car, I would sell it instantly and get cars I actually like.
I feel like everyone says that.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
Don't get me wrong. I would go buy like a fleet of Hondas and Acuras that I've always wanted. But I'd still get a really dope supercar.
that's what I was gonna say. Like I agree to an extent, and it's like because I'm not very interested in supercars because they're not relatable to me. I'm not gonna buy one, and they're not realistic for me to own. And I like to modify vehicles, and yes, you can modify supercars, but that's even more expensive. So like, but I still think they're cool. I still appreciate them. There's a lot of shit that goes into them, but I think that's a little heavy on the I don't give a fuck.
I feel like that's not,
lame,
it's not a very hot take either. That's
Yeah.
yeah.
I will be honest. If I could go and buy another supercar, I would really like to jump into a newer Gallardo.
Breaking.
Like,
Well,
I
the
think it would be.
Huracan.
Well, no.
Oh, like
I
before-
mean,
okay, gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha,
So I mean, like a 12-year-old, 15-year-old Lamborghini, because it's like Remember when the Gallardos were even like 70 grand at one point that I don't know. It just seems fun. I think it's a little overrated to say personally.
I think I would do something very similar because I love the Huracan. I love the later year Gallardos.
I was to get a supercar, honestly, what I would get is a Golf Harlequin.
Great talk. Number 2, the Miata isn't as great as you all claim it to be.
Bullshit. Bullshit.
There's gained a lot of hype around the Miata, all thanks to Alex. And
he started posting videos. About
again, this
Miata
is another one. I think I agree a little bit because at the end of the day, you have this little tiny fucking Hot Wheel of a car that makes 80 horsepower. But at the same time, the versatility, the modifications, the reliability, like
when you could go get them for a dime a dozen, absolutely.
Generally, when things are overhyped, there's a reason that they're hyped.
Yeah.
So it has some pluses, it has some negatives, but it's kind of I feel similar to supercar.
It's kind of the same thing too. When it comes down to the price of it nowadays, obviously they're way higher than they should be. Especially like,
but everything is so it doesn't
going
matter.
to find like an NA Miata in like decent condition, you're going to be paying a lot of money for, and then it doesn't become as worth it.
But it's everything. It's literally everything. Anything that's in decent condition that was old is worth stupid money.
You ready?
Yeah.
Doug DeMuro is just flexing his wealth while playing a large part in ruining affordable and attainable classic cars.
What?
No, I think
In
that's a terrible take.
In what world do you think that's even remotely accurate?
That's the energy of that YouTubers control the prices of all cars, and that's not the case.
That dude had like the most wholesome, like full circle
come up
fucking
story.
come up story in the
That
last
dude,
year.
you get watch one of Doug's videos, you're like, that guy fucking loves cars.
What the fuck?
All right, we're gonna keep going.
That was a terrible take.
Terrible take.
Did not like.
Delete your account.
Stanced cars are dumb as fuck.
No, dumb take.
All right. Car meets are stupid. An organized event like Cars and Coffee is different. I'm talking about your local Thursday night Applebee's parking lot meetups. Nothing more fun than standing in a dark lot asking some kid what he's done to his Hyundai Tiburon, Genesis Coupe, or GTI while you wait for the truck bros to do something stupid.
Terrible take. Some of my best memories are meeting up in a parking lot at midnight and having conversations and making connections with those people and learning that is a fucking terrible take.
Some of my favorite memories of becoming a car enthusiast are going to those parking lots and then going to Applebee's at like 10 o'clock to have the half off
I think they can be bad. I think shit can ruin them, and maybe they've changed a little bit since, but I still think it's a great way to bring the car community together, talk to some people, meet up. If someone's being an idiot, the group's got to call them out and push that shit away and not encourage it, because a lot of these people, chime in and they're like, yeah, fuck, take over. But then they're the same people that when it's happening, they're sitting there cheering it on and super excited.
Or even going.
Or instigating it.
It's like, why are you there? Why are you there?
Burnout.
Filming it, posting it online. Why are you doing that?
I think there's dumb car meets, but there's also really, really, really good car meets. And you just got to find the good ones.
Find a good crew of people. It all
right.
comes down to the people.
I got another one. The 86 is the new Civic. Slow, riced out, owned by plebs, obnoxiously modded, overrated as fuck.
Like the GR86 or the Toyota Corolla 86?
No, GR86 they're talking about.
False. It's not the Civic. It's the 240.
Ooh.
It's the new 240.
That's a good way to think about it.
I get it. They're easily attainable. They're affordable. A lot of modifications for them, and then a lot of people doing cheap modifications.
And it's a rear-wheel drive manual sports coupe.
I wouldn't say Civic, because Civics are reliable.
Damn.
Subaru
Okay.
Slander.
I get downvoted. This is a good one. I get downvoted for this, but I like the new BMW design language across the entire lineup.
Yeah, we talked about this and
Agree.
we agreed that there's some mastermind behind BMW that can create something that looks good before we even know it. And I don't know what kind of voodoo magic shit that is.
It's AI.
It's not AI. It's not AI.
It's time travelers.
That might be it.
There is I think there is something to be said because it's in like the fashion world too. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Where it's like these people, they come up with these concepts and you're like,
That's
what
stupid. Why
in
would
the
you ever?
hell am I looking at? And it's like, I think the most realistic version is like there's like these new, I don't know, like cottony polos that are getting really popular that you button at the front, right? And so listen to this.
don't button it
no,
from
no,
the
no,
back?
No. So this is a thing, right? It's not like like a pullover hoodie. Okay?
I'm trying to stick with you.
Stay with me. It's like a
terrible at
linen.
fashion.
It's like a linen material.
What does? Okay.
Look at
Okay,
your
so it's like a
pants.
really soft. Yeah, it's kind of like this, right?
Corduroy?
But it's a little bit. Anyway,
Sorry.
hear me out. So I was bored one night, and I'm like, Why in the fuck did this shirt get popular all of a sudden? Because these shirts are like $120. I'm like, I'm never buying this. So then I go into like the depths of the internet. I find out that like there was a designer that made it super popular like 4 years ago, and the shirts used to be like $1,200.
Jesus Christ.
But then over time, like H&M and Gap and like all made like their own versions of it, and it just started coming out into the market. Now everybody's wearing it. But it became from a designer like 5 years ago. And I look at BMW's design language, I literally think the same thing. Where I'm like, something from this car, the BMW, is going to be on a Toyota in 6 years.
Yeah, 100%.
Fucking guaranteed. The same thing that happened with like the BMW halo lights or the BMW
boy, that did take over.
LED tails.
I hate when auto manufacturers, I really think like KDM market does this a lot.
They steal everything.
They steal, like they see something popular that luxurious cars are doing, and then they make their own cheap ass version of it and put in, and I hate that.
Okay,
I don't
yeah.
like that.
There's our own hot take. KDM cars are rep cars.
The Stinger kind of is a fucking rep car.
Yeah.
It kind of, and I can appreciate Stinger.
They can still be great.
There's going to
They
be
can still
some
be-
Stinger fan base that's going to come and murder me.
They're gonna
My
sting
buddy
you.
had a Stinger, and it made a ton of power, and it was really impressive. And I think they look good for a Kia. That is the one car you always look at, and you're like, that's a fucking Kia? What the hell?
I know.
But I would never own that shit. I would never buy that.
It always felt when I used to do the raw reviews, I remember I grabbed it was like a Elantra N. And I remember like
that.
going through the whole process of the car and like driving, and I was like, yeah, it feels fun and stuff like that. But there was just always this ever lingering feeling of like, they didn't come up with that. They didn't come up with that. They didn't come up with
Blatantly
that.
took that from Audi.
Yeah, but it was like, yeah, but when you press the boost N button, the dash goes red, and I'm like, okay, so that's Dodge. Like, thanks, I guess. It's weird. It's a weird, sensitive subject. I will always stand on this hill, though. The KDM market probably deserves, from like a car manufacturer, they deserve kind of the most scrutiny because they do copy a lot. But the community
It's awesome.
from KDM people is like some of the most wholesome people I've ever met in my entire life. I've never met a nicer group of car enthusiasts than people who owned Hyundai Velosters and Elantras. They're just so nice.
You're
And
right.
I feel bad.
The people I've met with, they are generally pretty nice, I would say.
Yeah.
I haven't met a mean Hyundai person.
I really
I
haven't.
don't think you can be.
Yeah, you're kind of the butt end of the joke.
You got nothing to stand on. Like, how are you going to defend yourself? Someone start attacking you. They're like France.
You guys let us know what controversial hot take you have in the comments for the third part of
My
this.
God.
of this
I hope
podcast.
every single person listening to this comments 4 fucking times. I want to see the list and the progression, the separate comments.
It's like
I'm
20
watching.
minutes apart from each other.
Welcome
I
to your
wanna see
homework
this.
assignment.
Yeah.
Come back next week. We'll be
I
looking.
guarantee you too. I know someone's listening. They're like, "Oh fuck, okay," and they go back, and now they're trying to find the other questions so they can answer them all.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh shoot!
What do you really think, in your opinion, is like the most underrated, enjoyable car out there? Something that you've either saw or seen or driven where you've been like, knowing what it is could be a banger. I can go first if you'd like.
Yeah. I'd like to see where you're going with this.
Well, I'm going to go in a completely opposite.
That's perfect.
Like, not realistic car at all. I believe Acura did a perfect job with the brand new NSX, and people just don't know what they have
Here's
for another 10 years.
Here's the
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Here's the thing.
I mean-
it was like one of the first, at least in my eyes,
it was
one of
being
the
called hybrid.
Yeah, it was like
and
one of the
that
first ones to
scared everyone.
introduce that technology. Now every
Yep.
car of that genre is doing it. You look at the Stingray, the E-Ray. You look at all those cars. They're doing the exact same thing. And we drove the new NSX, and I love that thing. Ripped, and like it felt good. It was connected. It had like some really good tech in it.
It's a different car.
It is.
It's different than what else
It
you
is.
drive. In a good way though.
But like, I mean, it's in the name. It's supposed to be experimental.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it was. So yeah, no, I know that car got a ton of heat when it first came
And
out.
it still does. Like when you're looking at a car that's like $130,000, nobody has NSX in their lineup. They're like Audi R8, Dodge Viper, some Mercedes of some kind, even like a budget Ferrari, and they're like, no, I don't want an NSX.
Yeah,
It's
I just think the demographic for that car specifically is really small because like, you look back at like the 90s and 2000s NSXs, obviously that holds a lot of nostalgia for us. It has like the design cues from like that era. Maybe in 20 years.
I just don't even see them like driven. That's the thing is like everybody I've seen with an NSX, they always do the same thing.
It's like
it's
a collector's piece.
It's not a dig, but it's like if I am going to modify it, I'm going to put a wide body kit on it, put some huge wheels on it, and I'm going to take it to car shows. Even when I Road America and all these other tracks, it's like I never see somebody bringing in like an NSX to track.
Sure.
I've seen more R8s than ever. I don't know. It's just kind of a weird
R8's
thing.
a great car.
Fantastic car.
What was the question again?
Most like underrated, car that you really think people just are missing. Like really missing.
It's hard. Because I want to say something that's not like my typical answer. I'm trying to go into the depths of things I've either ridden in or drove. I got one just out of left field, and it's going to make me look really weird for saying it.
Okay.
One of the best cars I drove was a Subaru.
What?
It was Ben's from Gears and Gasoline, his STI. But there's a huge disclaimer with that.
I remember sitting with Dakota because we were all in the car and we each got a turn like driving it. And I remember witnessing the thought process going through of like,
it was,
wow. Yeah. And then, and then, okay. And then, no.
Yeah. That's exactly how it all went.
And it was hilarious.
I was falling in love with this machine. I'm driving through the mountains. This fucker's like 500 horse and smooth as hell and feels so good with that all-wheel drive. It sounds good. Everything feels so planted. And then I remembered it was a $45,000 car with $50,000 worth of modifications in it. And then all of the feelings went away. And that's why I still hate Subarus.
I kept seeing Dakota just hit the reset button. And just like fighting this battle with himself like, oh, I like Subarus. I like that. No, this is an $80,000 car. $80,000.
Literally. It's like, what I could get for $80,000, no, there's better stuff than that. I would much rather have a new like M3 or M4 or something like that a million times over. But I will say, just for the sake of talking and to shed a little nice light on Subaru, at the same time, I'm not. That shit blew me away, and it was underrated because I hated them.
Yep.
I do hate them. Hate's a strong word. I like that other people own them, and I don't.
Yeah, I feel like our amount of people that have added Subarus to the build threads have gone down dramatically since we've talked about them more often. Know that we don't hate them.
We were in like the live stream the other day.
Here's the thing.
Why do you hate Subarus?
I've been talking to the majority of Subaru owners are cool with me. They get it. They 100% understand where I'm coming from, and it's not like I hate the car because they're ugly or they're fucking slow, or it's not like that. I just hate that they're unreliable for the person owning them. I like the other stuff about them. And mostly everyone's cool. There is a couple people that get really butthurt that I don't talk good of Subaru.
The thing is, too, it's like, I get a lot of shit, too. It's like, oh, well, you say all this stuff, but you own a fucking rotary. And it's like, yeah, but Mazda doesn't make the rotary anymore because of that.
Yeah.
Subaru's still making the same fucking engine. It's
because I feel like with the rotary, you are acknowledging like its weaknesses. You know what you're getting into. You know what it's about. I think there are people in the Subaru and it's because it's such a big community.
Yeah, it is huge.
One
of the biggest.
People don't believe there is anything wrong with the platform. Not that the people that know there's something wrong accept your opinion because they've been through it.
No, he's right.
Also, I watched a video of Smedia, a big Subaru content creator. He has fantastic content, and he made a video like, you hate Subaru, why? ? I'm like, perfect. I'm gonna watch this. I want to hear his argument. Obviously, he's gonna defend Subaru. I want to hear this from a guy that really dives into him. He made some fantastic points, 100%. And I could see where he's coming from. But there was one part where he's like, people are like, they're unreliable and stuff. Well, that they're just finicky with tunes and cheap parts and things like that. Like if you do that stuff, it's gonna blow up. And it's like, yes, exactly. Other cars can handle that. If you put on a cheap mod or have a mad tune, no, it's not good for them. But they're not popping engines consistently, and that's the point. You know, like they are finicky. That's the problem. Yes, you can spend a ton of money and build it right. That's the problem.
You are buying a affordable car with insanely high tolerances to do things that don't have high tolerances for. It's like you're trying to build a supercar on a non-supercar budget, and then you're mad when the supercar blows up.
Yeah.
But it's a Subaru. It's not a Lamborghini.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It'd be fun.
Expectations.
I do think it would be fun to build one and do like a really honest like experience. Be like, I bought the car I hate, and I'm gonna just.
That would
try
be
it.
interesting.
I bought the car I hate, and
I'm gonna give it. Yeah.
Here
I'm
it
gonna
is.
go in, open mind.
Yeah.
Let's see how the
And, like,
experience.
Take all the advice. Take all the, you know.
and buy a super normal one. Like buy the one that's like 10 grand, 100,000 miles. That's just like normal, and be like,
close to stock.
yeah, here you go. Let's
Fun little fact.
do this
for
shit.
you. This short will probably be will be up when the podcast is up. So you might have already heard this. Sorry if you did. But did you know the first WRX that was ever made to the new WRX now, there is a 30 horsepower difference between the two. In 30 years.
Horsepower.
10 horsepower a decade they have improved.
That's because they know.
Hey, at least they're climbing.
Are they? The price has doubled on these
I know,
fuckers,
I know.
and the horsepower has gone up by 30.
That's what
It's the same fucking thing, dude.
It's actually just inflation. Horsepower measurements have changed.
Yeah.
So it's actually the same thing.
Horses are weaker nowadays than the old horses.
are weaker.
They had
They ain't
strong
feeding
horses
them as well.
Yeah, the GMOs, you know.
So yeah, if you do the horsepower conversion to old horses to new horses, it actually
what
makes
is-
less horsepower than the old one.
What's the current rate of a horsepower?
Apparently, Dona did a video on it. I want to watch it because they're like, how much horsepower does a horse make? We found out. I'm like, what sort of video is that?
That's the type of content I want.
Zach's sitting there with like James and Noah. Like, what if we?
They got scales and like,
They're like, hey guys, what if we brought a horse in here? Where are we gonna get a horse?
Did they
I
do
don't know. Ask.
high horse and low horse, or
That's terrible. We're sorry. We're definitely laughing right now just for ourselves. I don't know. What did you have one yet?
like
We
the
gave
car
you a
that
lot
was
of
like
time.
kinda just,
spiraled?
yeah, I forgot what we were talking about for a second. Honestly, I was super impressed. I know like there's a lot of like the like BMW and I wouldn't say that's like this doesn't have a following behind it, but the M240i's.
Oh
Like the
yeah,
newer
that's a really
M240i's.
good one. That's a really fucking
They're
good one.
B58 powered. They're 4-door. Their interiors are incredible. They have some really cool like accents and stuff for them. The colors of these cars are insane. They're quick and they sound good.
Fun as hell to
and they're
drive.
fun as hell. And I really like that car.
That was super good.
I don't know if I've ever actually seen an M240i in person.
See, that's what I mean. Like I never like people.
No one ever has them.
Like
Yeah.
everyone, if it's like, oh well, I'm just gonna go with
M2,
the
M3,
M2,
M4.
M3, or like a 335. It's like, well, the M240i is a really good
Dude,
car.
slept on 100%.
Because it's a 2 Series fully spec'd car.
Right.
Besides having
It's like
M badge.
it's almost an M
what makes it different? Suspension?
engine, I think.
Is that really it?
The M badge is all over everything.
Well, no. You can get those now.
That's
on
true. You can.
M240s
You're right.
Because
I
it's
forgot.
M.
You're right.
Anyway, you guys will have to let us know what you think is the most like underrated car in the automotive scene and why. And we will check your homework for ChatGPT next week. And if you gave us a ChatGPT answer,
You're expelled.
you're banned.
I love you, my Subaru people, and I'm sorry I defend you when you don't want to be defended.
Dakota hates Subarus and Kias, apparently. The list grows every single time we do a podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if you put a STI and a Stinger in front of me, like, and
what
I
are you
had to
choosing?
own one.
Yeah, out of context, what are you choosing?
You can't explain.
All right, we'll talk to you guys on the next episode. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate the love and support. We see a bunch of people on their Spotify rap that MartiniWorks was
That's
their
so
number
cool.
one
That's
podcast.
sick.
Absolutely insane. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.